Dylan, you're going to be a free agent this summer. What do you think about the chances that you could be back here next season?
I think they could possibly be good. I'm leaving that, to my agent, Mike George, to handle that. And me just focus on the summer, focus on what I can get better, focus on how I can, contribute to getting better.
Dylan, just how do you evaluate this season for you in totality?
New role. I got better at, being on the defensive side, taking more of, ownership on that side. Seeing how, the seasons can go up and down, regardless of trying to keep an even keel and knowing that, I got to get better, shooting the basketball.
DB, do you regret the comments made after Game 2 with how it then evolved into this huge wave of putting the spotlight on you and your team, and whether or not it, geeked up LeBron or whatever, but do you regret making those comments after Game 2?
No. That's who I am. I don't regret it. I'm a competitor. I compete. I don't think it got LeBron geeked up. Is he back in the playoffs? It's been a little while, so I think he was ready to play. And overall, we just got beat by a better team, bigger team. Guys that have their whole team, their whole pieces there. And I'm just gonna continue to be me and get better at what I do.
Hey Dylan, do you think the perceived perception of you takes away from what you actually do on the court?
I only think it takes away from what calls have been made, or for instance, like the flagrant fouls, there's already a persona on it, so it kind of makes them lean into that direction. But that's who I am. That's what I'm gonna be, and at the end of the day, it's just competition. It's competing, and most people are scared to compete, and that's why they get rattled or feel some type of way when I play against them. It's because I'm trying to compete at the highest level I can, and that's the only way that I got into this league, got into this realm of where I'm at now. So I'm not going to change. I'm going to keep doing what I do and get better.
Dylan, when Jaren won his Defensive Player of the Year award, one of the first things he said was it took having you on his right side. He saw it as both of you guys contributing to that. When you saw the strides that this team made defensively from the beginning of the season towards the end, how much pride do you guys take into that, and how much will that help you, knowing where you are defensively, get better offensively as well?
I feel like, we enable each other on that defensive end, me and Jaren, and, he got so much better towards the season, towards the end of the season with it. I don't think I, lost anything, on the offensive end. I was just there to, 3-and-D, shoot, and play defense. I got way more to my game than that. I'm just going to brush up back on that, and, my defense will never leave, even though I came into this league without that defensive persona.
Dylan, back here. Taylor just talked about less talk, more walk next season. Is that an environment you feel you could operate under if you are back here next year?
Yeah, I could operate in any environment. With the talking, I did that. I do that for one, to create an advantage for myself, and two, you know, I try to create this matchup between my opponent. And, you know, maybe sometimes that gets the best of me and it's too much, you know, for other people. But that's just the way, you know, I work, I operate, you know, like that's what you're supposed to have on the defensive end, or else you're just going to be like the rest of these guys, just going through the motions. So, you know, I knew when my role changed that I had to motivate myself every single day to come in here and work. And, you know, that's what I did. And I just, you know, kept it real.
Parker.
Dillon, just with the ups and downs of the season, you know, you've mentioned yourself as a veteran in the locker room and a leader for this team. How did you see yourself grow as a veteran leader in the midst of all the adversity faced this season?
My roles has changed regardless of with the ups and downs. I got put into, you know, try to mold D-Rod and Jake and those guys as a leader, trying to, you know, get them to know what the NBA is all about, how to be professional, regardless of, you know, what happened from last year to this year, be a professional and not be a, you know, either a cancer or something in this locker room. And then just ultimately trying to, you know, voice my opinions to my teammates on how we can get better.
Dylan, with your shooting at the end of the season, do you think it was an extended slump, or just at any point do you feel like it did get into your head and did affect your performance in that way?
It could have been an extended slump. You know, I'm not sure. They started just, you know, not even guarding me out there in the series. You know, I wish I could have got some, you know, some play calls so I can find my rhythm and find some stuff like that. But, you know, it wasn't in the cards for our team.
You've talked about the mental game a lot. Obviously, there's been a lot of criticism since the end of the series. How have you sort of handled that for yourself?
I brush it off. You know, I'm way more capable of, you know, what I've shown, and I think that's why there's a lot of criticism because, you know, I've made myself as, you know, a two-way player, and, you know, I felt like, you know, with all this criticism, I could have gave a lot more, and, you know, wasn't, you know, given enough. So, you know, I just take that into the summer and use it as motivation to get better. Appreciate y'all.